Hello, I'm James from the Next Generation, and today I'm here at Cleve Hill campsite in Bath, and I'm reporting on the Be Prepared Resilience Day. So what's happened here is an earthquake has struck, and the scouts have been split up into families, and they have to go around completing activities. We're going to go and see what's going on and what the activities are.
I'm here with
Amy.
Amy. Can you tell me what activity you've just had to do?
Well, we've just had to make a tent for shelter after the earthquakes hit. So we've had to feed the poles through the actual tent and put it up using the pegs. And yeah, it's quite difficult.
Why was it difficult in particular?
Because we're only allowed to use one hand because one of our body limbs are being blown off by landmines. And whilst avoiding the landmines, we had to put up the tent. So we had to work together as a team in order to thread the poles and lift the tent up and hammer into the ground and that, yeah.
So you've already been injured from one landmine, you've lost an arm, you've only been able to use one hand, and you said you've had to avoid the other landmines. Were there any consequences if you hit the landmine?
Yeah, you lose another limb, such as your other arm or one of your legs. And if you lost all of your limbs, then you were out and your team had one less person to help build the tent.
Right, okay. And you've had to find then a place to put the tent in between all the landmines?
Yeah, just to make sure that when we're asleep we don't roll onto one of them so it blows up the tent and that, so yeah.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been really good, yeah.
Since this earthquake, you've been put into families. What's your family name?
My family's named Lewis.
Lewis. So here you're doing an activity. What activity are you doing at the moment?
We're decoding Morse code.
Okay, and are you sending and receiving it from each other?
At the moment, we're receiving a Morse code which we're trying to figure out.
Okay, is this easy to figure out or is it quite hard?
It's really hard.
So why using Morse code?
We're using Morse code because the telephone signals aren't working.
Okay, so you're trying to contact other people without using telephones.
Yeah. They're not working after the earthquake, so we're trying to contact other people to help us.
Can you tell me who you are?
Amelia, Maria, Emily, Erin.
And what base are we at the moment?
We're at the firefighting base.
Okay, and what does that entail?
Don't know.
What have you got to do? What have you been asked to do?
We've been asked to make a catapult a water balloon into a fire to put it out.
And that's the burning house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so how have you decided what design of catapult have you made as a group?
We got 3 sticks and we put them about 10 inches apart, or 5.
That's quite exact.
And then we put elastic band and rope around them, and then we put the elastic band to a bit of a water bottle, and then we put a water balloon in it so we can pull it back and let it go.
So the catapult is the top of a water bottle. That's the bit that holds the balloon, and then you've constructed a frame, yeah? To be able to then fire the water bottle. And there's just been another earthquake aftershock, so everybody has to get on the floor and make sure that they survive. Okay, everybody's safe, it's fine. So how successful do you think your design's going to be?
Probably not that successful, but maybe, because it looks a bit wobbly and the elastic band keeps breaking.
It looks like the rest of your team have slightly modified your design. Perhaps the original design wasn't quite as good as you thought it was going to be. What's your name?
Holly.
Holly and?
Charlotte.
And?
Madison.
Okay, so girls, what activity are you doing at the moment?
We're doing first aid.
Okay, really important. Why is first aid important with the earthquake?
Because there's a lot of injuries going on, and it's good to know how you can help somebody if you find them there in trouble.
Okay, and so what part of first aid have you learnt today?
Like how to do a bandage and that moisturiser doesn't help a burn sort of thing because it's oil. I don't know, just like...
Obviously learnt some good stuff. And how do you get scored on first aid today then?
Well,
Is it just having a go at what you've learned and seeing if you can
Yeah.
remember what they've said?
yeah, having a go and always trying.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And obviously working as a team.
Yeah, you should always work as a team, share your ideas in case somebody's got something different and you've got something.
Cool. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Are you having a good day so far?
Yes.
How's the family doing in scoring?
We've had a few ups and downs, but it'll be about three. Oh, we're third. Yeah, we're third in it.
Well done. So obviously things are going quite well at the moment, and you've got a few activities left.
Yes, we've got 4, I think. 4.
3 or 4 activities left for the day.
What's your name?
Max Dooley.
And what's yours?
Ben.
And yours?
James.
Okay, and what activity are you on at the moment?
We are on the stretcher one where we have to carry dead bodies or not real ones, but plastic dummies up.
Okay, and how have you decided to do this?
We decided to take some stretchers and one by one take them to safety.
Okay, and is this because of the earthquake? Are they all ill because of the earthquake?
Probably, yeah. I don't know really.
Oh, okay then. So is this good? Is this fun?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's the best one I've done yet.
Can you introduce yourselves for me, please?
Hi, I'm Molly.
Sup, I'm Milena.
Okay, and so what activity have you had to do today at this particular base?
We had some pipes and we had to take the rice to the start to the end.
In a chain?
Yeah, in the chain.
What if you dropped some rice?
Then you would just have to continue.
So was it to see how much rice you could get at the end after it's gone through the whole chain?
Yeah.
And what's the impact on the wider earthquake story for that particular activity?
Try to save as much water as you can.
Much water as you can. So the rice simulated water.
Yes.
Brilliant. And then I noticed there was another activity you were quite lucky as a team. You didn't get too wet. But what was that activity for?
Well, you basically there was a tube and you had to hold your fingers over holes, and the leader poured loads of water in the tube and you tried to get a ball out, and you could have got really wet, but lucky we didn't.
So the holes in the tube had to be plugged to be able to get the ball out, and the only way you could get the ball out was by putting water in the tube. Did the ball represent anything in particular?
Well, I'm not really sure.
Okay. And what impact does that activity have on the wider earthquake story?
Well, I think you do need to be a bit more careful about your water use. That's what I think.
So water systems can get damaged when an earthquake happens, and it's about okay. Are you enjoying the day so far?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Good. And tell me one thing you've learned so far today.
To use resources carefully.
Let's use this one. It's really soft. It's gone down. Tight in. That's broken. Just try it. Come on. We're doing emergency servicing.
So who have I been joined by?
Alicia and Georgina.
Nice to meet you girls. So this activity that you've just done this afternoon, what have you had to do?
Well, we had to make camp beds and we had to put together tables and chairs.
Okay, and what was that for?
It's like a reception area, and it's like if someone's like lost their family, they go to the reception area.
Okay, and have you had to put together lighting and stuff like that as well?
Yes, we had to put together 2 lights.
So is the idea that you've then created a shelter with lighting and areas for people to go to try and find anybody that they're missing?
Yeah.
Okay, have you enjoyed today so far?
Yes.
Good. What one thing could you tell me that you've learnt today?
Well, I didn't really know how to do CPR properly, so we practiced that and now I know how to do it properly.
Brilliant. And what about you?
It's like I didn't really know how to do some areas of CPR, but now I've learnt them.
I'm with.
Misty,
Natalie.
Joe, Daniel.
Matthew and Jack.
Okay, and what base are we at the moment?
The shelter base.
Shelter base. And what have base 4? What have you been doing in this base?
Well, we had to build a tent with one hand around mines that you weren't allowed to touch.
And what happened if you touched the mines?
You would lose a limb.
So if you touched it with your leg, you lose your leg. And has this been good fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so one of the last activities of the day. I'm here with.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy. My name's Kat. And what activity are you doing right now?
It's basically morph code we're doing to each other to see a sentence. So we're sending each other sentences and figuring it out basically.
Okay, so sending messages to each other via Morse code, and then you've got to work out what those messages are.
Yeah.
And how does that tie in with the whole earthquake?
To send messages saying how can we do this or something. Oh, there's a person over here. What do we do with it? We can do that to each other while we're in different areas if there was an earthquake.
So forms of communicating with each other. Brilliant. Have you enjoyed today so far?
Yeah, it's been good.
What? Tell me one thing that you've learnt today that you didn't know before.
The recovery position in the first aid tent. Didn't know that.
Brilliant. So at least you'll be able to take that back with you.
What's your name?
Faith.
And
James. Cody.
Adam.
Josh.
Josh. So what base have you just been to?
Base 2.
And what did you have to do?
Set up a camp bed and a reception centre.
Okay, and how did this help with the earthquake effects?
It'll give people, survivors, somewhere to go.
Okay, and did you do well in that?
Yeah, we did well.
Did you put the whole camp bed together?
Yeah.
Good, so you had some fun.
Yeah, we did have loads of fun, really.
Okay, have you had a good day so far as well today?
Yeah, it's alright, yeah.
Have you got a favourite activity?
Not really, no.
Anyone? Favourite activity?
Probably the fire extinguishing one.
Okay, and what did you have to do in that one?
We had to create a catapult where we'd fire a water balloon at a fire.
Okay, nice.
Here with
Charlotte.
Sally.
Nice to meet you girls. So what activity is this going on at the moment?
Well, we are pretending to defuse a landmine which has come up from the earthquake. So they've all risen up. So we have to learn how to defuse them.
And how have you got to defuse the mine?
We have to move the metal stick in through the little metal holes and press the button once. But if you hit the edge of the metal, then it makes a noise and you have to start again. Going off.
So that's the bomb gone off and you're dead?
Yeah.
How's your group doing?
We've got 3 of them done. We're just missing one, which we're having troubles on at the moment.
So technically, if that was a bomb, would there be any of you left?
I don't think so.
Oh dear. So we need a bit more practice.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed today?
Yeah, it's very fun. It's quite interesting on all the different activities.
What would you say would have been your favourite?
I like the one where we had to rescue the dummies from the place, and we had to go through lots of obstacles and carry them on a stretcher.
And what, if you could tell me one thing you've learnt today that you didn't know before, what would that be?
Morse code, because that would be quite useful even in present day when we don't really use it. Even if you've lost someone, you both have torches and it's dark, it'll be useful to learn how to use Morse code, just to say, like flash lights, so they know where you are.
What's your name?
My name is Joe, and I've just done some wound making.
Okay, and what did you do in that?
We wrapped up our hand and arms to practice making a sling.
Okay, so was this helping your first aid, yeah?
Yes, I now know how to do it.
Okay, and did you have to do this to help the earthquake?
Yes, the earthquake was very brutal, so we just had to learn it
it in order to stop injuries.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh no, there's a crack in the.
Hold it really tight.
Thank you very much.
Squeeze it, it'll be fine.
Okay.
If one comes out to it, what we're going
One
to do is
starts
keep it in there.
leaking, somebody cover it.
No one let go.
Oh!
Don't let go, the ball's nearly there. Nearly there. Quick, grab it. Now you can let go.
I didn't get my ass on.
So last activity of the day, and I am joined by
Kitty. Beth.
Nice to meet you girls. So what has been your last activity of the day?
First aid. CPR and the recovery position.
Did you know any of that before today?
Yes.
Was it good to refresh though?
Yeah, because I haven't done it in a while.
And where does first aid fit in with the earthquake story of today?
Well, if somebody goes into shock, or they could pass out and then they could go under cardiac arrest, and then you'd have to give them CPR, and you'd have to put them into the recovery position first. They could injure themselves, so it's easy to know how to do it.
Brilliant. So, how do you think you got marked on that today?
Quite well, because we all listened, and we all learnt something new and how to do it, and we had to show different people how to do it because some people hasn't done it before.
Brilliant. Have you enjoyed today?
Yes.
What's been your most favourite part?
Probably when you had to go into the woods and carry the casualties during the assault course.
And if you could tell me one thing that you learnt today that you didn't know before, what would that be?
That what doctors are ABC is.
Cool. All right, well, I'm glad you've enjoyed today, girls, and we'll wait to find out which families won. Thank you very much.